Okay, so the other day I was browsing the internet and I came across this Twitter post by COL, which showcases this pretty crazy effect. As you can see, as he hovers around these text layers, they are getting larger, they are also moving a little bit around, they are connected with lines, and the whole thing just looks pretty sick. And the good news is that inside of Framer, we can create this without writing a single line of code, thanks to two new effects. One of them is called the line connections, and the other one is called proximity effects. And of course, these can be utilized in all sorts of other different ways. Again, the possibilities are endless. However, I think this video could be pretty cool if we use them to recreate this right here to kind of learn about them. So yeah, basically that's what we're going to be doing in this video. My name is Nandi, this is Framer University, and let's get started. Okay, so as you can see, I'm right inside of Framer. This is basically a completely empty project, so if you also want to start building with me, you can also just start a new project and start building. Now, let's start by actually analyzing what we see here on the original. As you can see, we have a logo in the center. Probably we can use the Framer logo there. And then we have these like little text layers floating around. And as the cursor is getting closer to them, they are getting a little different because you can see a sort of like a border starts appearing around them. And also when we finally hover over them, they get this white background color. And also they are getting larger again as cursor gets closer. And they're also connected with lines. So this whole thing just looks amazing. I don't know if it's just me, but I really like it. So let's start doing this. I'm going to start by actually, just pressing D on my keyboard and clicking here within this breakpoint. And I'm going to write one of the words here, maybe motion. Now I'm going to select this text by pressing Command A on my keyboard, and also keystroke, starting keystroke pro might be a good idea. So you can actually see my shortcuts. Now, on the right panel, I'm going to select a mono font because as you can see, this right here is definitely mono. I'm going to go with Geist mono. I think that's going to be good. I'm going to use a white color. Now, I'm not too sure about the sizing. Probably 16 could be a good default, but you can go with larger or smaller. And I think we have to wrap this in a stack. So I'm going to right click this and add it into a stack. Now you can see on the right panel, the motion text is wrapped within the stack that I can call text wrap. I can set the width to fit content because what I want is to have a responsive behavior. As I have more text, the wrapper frame should also adopt nicely, as you can see. I'm going to select this wrapper now, and on the right panel, I'll increase the padding. But only on the left and right, so maybe it's gonna be, it's actually not too much, maybe 4, 6, so it's gonna be okay. And then the height will actually be fixed and a little bit larger, something like that. Maybe 24, this should work, yeah. Lovely, okay. And actually now that I'm looking at this, the text layers that we're not hovering over, they're also a little bit dropped in opacity, so we'll also have to take a look into that. Now, we need an element for the border that's going to be appearing as we're hovering closer to this, so I'm going to just draw a frame here, put it within this text wrap. I'm going to set it to absolute positioning, I'll pin it to all sides, and then within this, we're going to add the border. So I'm going to just call this border, and border will be applied here. Now the border intensity in terms of color, I'm not too sure. It's just gray, like something like this should work. Perfect. So now that we have this, let's wrap this text wrap in a in another frame. Or actually, we might not need to do that because we are already wrapping it within the hero. So I think that should be good. That should be good enough. And in order to kind of see how the first effect works, the proximity effect, which allows us to sort of make elements larger and move them around as we're moving closer or further away from them with our cursor, we can copy the component from the Framer University website. So you just go to framer.university/resources and search for line connections component. Copy the component and paste it here. Now, this will have to be pasted within the border, first of all. As you can see, it's an invisible component, like you cannot see it on the canvas. It just adds the effect to whatever frame you're placing it within. So now I pasted it within the border, so it will affect the border. Now, I'm very very dumb because I'm copying the line connections component, but what I need is the proximity effects. So I'm going to copy the proximity effects first, and I'm going to paste it within the border again. So now you can see still invisible component and adds the effect to the border because I added it within the border. So what I want to do with this is I want to make sure that when I hover closer, the border appears. So I won't change the scale, so it's gonna be 1, 1, rotation 0, 0, opacity. Now, when I'm far with my cursor, opacity will be 0. When I'm near with my cursor, opacity will be 1. Okay, border, we don't need that. Radius, we don't need that. Lovely. Now, with the influence, we can change how close we have to get with our cursor to see the effect, but that's basically it. Let's check. As you can see, it doesn't really work. As I'm moving closer with my cursor, it's not really affecting the border frame, which is very weird. What we can do to kind of check if it works the other way is just remove the proximity effects from the border and actually just treat, because now I actually it's crazy that this is my effect component and I forgot how it works. But yeah, I forgot that it actually has the border property on the actual component properties of the proximity effects. So we don't need this additional frame that we created here. We just have to put the proximity effects on this hero level and then just delete the border. We don't need that. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the border to the text wrap border. I'm gonna add it here. Maybe something like this. We're not seeing it because the proximity effects are added, but let's just delete it for now or just hide it and set the border here, like a specific color. And then I can add the proximity effects back. And here on the right panel, I can change the opacity on the far to maybe 0.5. So when I'm far with my cursor, this text wrap will actually be a little bit smaller. And then the border will also be added here. So on where it is. Okay, so on the near, this is the color they has to have, 100%. And then, oh, okay, let's also set the width to 1. And then the far border will be the same color, but 0 opacity and still 1 width. Hopefully now it's gonna work. Let's take a quick look. Yeah, as you can see, as I'm moving my cursor closer, it works perfectly. However, we get double border, so I think we can remove the border we initially added to the text wrap. So the border is added with the proximity effects. So now it's basically working perfectly. I don't really like that I can select the text, so I'll make sure that user selects none is added to the text layer. So now we can kind of see how the actual component proximity effects works. We have to place it within the same frame that we have the little text wrap elements in. So in this case, it's the hero. I can have, you know, multiple text wraps like this, and then all of them will have this proximity effect. As you can see, as I move closer with my cursor, they get a little bit lighter. They get opacity up to 1, and they also reveal their little border. And just by going into the proximity effects again, and I can, by the way, set this to absolute position so it doesn't push any elements away, I can change the magnetic effect, so I can set it to maybe 10, so the elements will be also moving around. I can change the scale as well, so when I'm near, maybe they scale up twice or 3 times the original size. And now, as you can see, we have this, which is really amazing. I don't really want them to be see-through, or I don't know what we have on the original, to be honest. Well, they're see-through on the original, so maybe that's what we're gonna have as well. Maybe a little bit more gap between them right here, just for like seeing how we have these. And yeah, it works really nicely. Lovely. So now I'm gonna just delete 2 of these text wraps and turn one of them, the one that we keep, into a component. Lovely. Right-click, create component. We're gonna have a default state in a variant, and then we're gonna have a hover state. On the hover, all we do is we set the background color to white and then the text color to black. That's basically it. And I can set the easing to ease out and maybe 0.3 or something like that. Let's just take a quick look. Yeah, that should work. Now, as you can see, this will not really, actually it still works, which is actually weird because the proximity effects has this components mode. So if you want to use this with components, you can use this components mode, but if it works on auto, then you can just keep using auto, honestly. Lovely. So this is looking really nice. So at this point, we can just, start adding more of these text wrap elements, and that's basically it. However, we want to have different text within each. So I'm going to go back to the component, and on the right panel, just turn the content property of the text into a variable. So now I can just duplicate this and write something else here, maybe cloud. So now I have this. Lovely. Okay. So let's just first have, 3 or 4 of these. Framer. And what else? Web. Okay. Works amazingly. And I can now go and copy the line connections just to see if that works as well. Works the same way, by the way. I have to put it within the same wrapper frame where I have all the elements that I want to affect. So in this case, it's this hero. We now have both the proximity effects and the line connections within here, so they all affect these text wrappers that we have here. I can start setting all of these text wrappers, by the way, to absolute positioning, so I can just scatter them all around. So I can just move this here, move this here, and move this here. As you can see, we have them connected with lines. However, the line connections component, of course, is also customizable. So I can set the mode to closer. I can change the count so we don't have as much connections, and I can also set the z-index, right? So where this line actually places itself. So it's below the text, above the text, and stuff like that. Now the color will be a little bit different because it's not that visible on the original, and I also think that this is why it doesn't really look cool. So I'll just drop the opacity, or actually just make the color a little bit different here on the right panel. I can also make it dashed, by the way, which could be an interesting effect if we want to do that. Maybe you want to do that. And now, as you can see, yeah, it basically works. We have them connected with lines, and they are getting magnetized, and it just looks pretty cool. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make this a little bit brighter, the lines that we use to connect them. And for the proximity effects, I'm going to make the influence a little bit larger, maybe 600 pixels. so that when I start getting closer, they start moving and scaling a little bit sooner. Lovely. Okay. I think they have to be moved a little bit more. So I'm going to do a magnet effect with 20 pixels. Yeah, I think that's going to look really cool. So at this point, all we have to do is to add more of these text wrap components with different text layers. So, or different, text within them. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to start duplicating these like this. And I'm gonna just write different text in all of them. I'm probably gonna cut here because this will probably be a little bit boring. So yeah, I'm gonna be back once I have all of them. Okay, so we have all of them here. One thing, I don't need this letter here. However, you'll notice that all of them are like on the left side of my screen, which is not really cool. Now, a really easy fix when it comes to F-sub positioning, we just have to make sure that all of these pins are activated when we want to create like this layout, when all of them are scattered like equally. We deactivate the pins. We basically have a little blue dot in the center. That means we should be good, and then maybe we move them a little bit to the left. I'm moving them to the left, but they're not moving to the left, so I'm gonna just grab them and move them that way. And now, as you can see, it just works and it looks pretty cool. Now, it looks a little weird here because some of these are just too close to each other, so I'm gonna just tweak that really quickly. Like this. Also here we have these two, maybe this, and this, and this, and that should be good. Now the line connections component can actually be tweaked slightly, so we have more lines, so we can just increase the count. As you can see, we now have more, and that's basically it. Now, as you can see, as I hover over these, we kind of have this really interesting creative effect. To wrap this up, all we need to do is to place a large framer logo in our center. How can we do that, you might ask? Well, you have to get the framer sort of SVG code, which I have saved on my computer for easy access, then paste it on the canvas, but you can place any logo in the center. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just paste it not within the hero, but within the main container. The point is just making sure that it's not within the same frame as these other elements here, like the text wrap and stuff, because I don't want to affect, the logo. I want it to stay centered without any craziness. So again, I'll just set that to, I don't know where I'm putting it now. I'll just paste it within the main, wrap it in a frame, set it to F-sub positioning, and then probably scale it up on the right panel. And with that, we basically wrapped it up, right? And it just looks pretty cool. So I highly recommend you to play around with these effects, these two new effects, the line connections and the proximity effects, because you can create much more cool stuff with them. Just to show you another example, if you search for proximity effects, you can see this right here, which was also inspired by a little tweet that I saw. You can see this is also really nice, and like this is also just one component, the proximity effects, and it makes these circles scale up, lose their corner roundness, and yeah, basically that's it, and it creates this unique effect. So yeah, if you use these in a creative way, I'm pretty sure that you can create sites that, that will make clients go like, wow, I want to work with this guy, or that makes your template customers go like, oh wow, I want to buy that template. So yeah, make sure to play around with these, and also if you have any questions about them, make sure to drop a comment. But also drop a comment if you just simply like them, because it just helps the algorithm. Also, check out Framer University for other components and effects because it has a bunch of them, as you can see, over 500, updating almost every single day. So it's honestly hard to keep up with everything that's in here, but I guess that's a good thing, right? Because it just helps you creating great websites with Framer. Now that's it for this video. Make sure to like it, subscribe, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.